Today on Engineering Addiction, we will be looking at how to make your Ender 3 or Ender 3 Pro direct drive using only 3D printing. First, I took off one of the mods that was featured in my last video. Then I unclipped the coupler and took the Bowden tube out of the connector. Next, we unscrew the extruder motor using those 4 screws. Then we take the motor and put it into the 3D printed part. This will be linked in the description below. Then we put on the extruder gears. I put this on upside down, so I had to take it off. So make sure that you put the coupler upside down so that it's facing down towards the extruder. Like this, I fixed it and then we were ready to move on. Then we add this lever that lets you push the filament through, and there's a spring that holds it open, and you screw in the screw at the bottom, and you only screw it tight by your fingers. Don't use a tool because it needs to have some wiggle room. Next, we have to take off these wheels, which you can do by unscrewing the screw at the front and taking the nut off at the back. And then you can put these to the side because we'll need these in a second. To make this a little bit easier, you can take the timing belt off of the roller assembly and it'll make it a little easier to unscrew the other wheel. Next, you're going to take these linear bearings from the wheels and push them into the 3D printed part. Then you're going to unscrew the push to connect coupler. Then you're going to put the screws through the linear bearings that you just inserted to the 3D printed part. Put the wheels on there, but don't put the nuts on because we have to put it back onto the V slot. Once you put it on the V slot, now you can add the nuts and tighten it so that it's tight enough to not wiggle around, but also it's not restricting movement. Then reattach the timing belt on both sides. This can be a little bit difficult, but it shouldn't take too long. Now this part can be a little bit tricky, but not impossible. You have to take PTFE tubing or Bowden tube and cut a length that's short enough to fit in there, but not too short, so that it goes all the way down into the heat block. To insert the tube, I actually had to remove the extruder gear assembly and put it in, but once I did that, it was pretty easy. Then I put the wires of the extruder to the side. There's a little clip there. You have to unwrap the electrical tape around this sleeve so you can get the extruder motor wire out, and then you can plug that in once it's done. Once all those steps are done, you're ready to remount the fan shroud. I have the Cestana and it didn't actually fit, so I had to cut it off and cut off the little bit at the top, and once I did, I got it to fit like perfectly. Once everything is all mounted up and ready, we can turn our printer on and start printing. This direct drive is useful when you want to print things like flexible filaments. Pushing a flexible, flimsy material through a tube can get it jammed and is more difficult than just pushing it straight down. So if you limit the amount of area it has to be pushed through, it limits the chance of you getting a jam or a clog in your nozzle, and that can break your printer and having you to buy new parts. So this is easy and effective. Right after I finished filming this video, I went to a store called Micro Center, and there they have lots of filaments and all different types of 3D printer accessories. And I bought a glass bed and TPU, which is a flexible filament, so expect some videos coming up about that as well. I was able to produce a really nice benchy with this setup, and if you want to see more mods, watch my last video, and there will be new videos coming out soon, so stay tuned.